Welcome to Salad with a Side of Fries. I'm your host, Jenn Trepeck, talking wellness and weight loss for real life. We're here to clear up the myths, misinformation, bad science, and marketing to teach you how to eat and how to cheat. Are you ready? I'm having salad with a side of fries. This week, we're talking about LMNT. So these are electrolyte mix stick packs, and the label just has the letters, the consonants of the word LMNT. So that's how they spell it, but it's pronounced element. So Jenn S. submitted this one through our website. She said, okay, I'm on a roll, so I'll attempt to continue it. How about LMNT? I like several of them. The citrus probably is the most. I like several of them. The citrus probably the most, but watermelon and raspberry also. So first, thank you, Jenn, for submitting these. I love when you all submit your ideas for nutrition nuggets and full episodes. So if you've never reached out, please do. You can do it on all social media, wherever convenient for you. DM me at Jenn Trepeck, JENNTREPECK. Website is asaladwithasideoffries.com. If you go to the contact form on my website, you can submit it right there like Jenn S. did for this one. So, okay, Jenn, I'm going to do this like we do all of our deep dives. And I know that's an oxymoron, but nevertheless, right? We have a short deep dive, but here we go. All right. So I went to their site. At the top, they are currently announcing a flavor that's here to stay. So I'm guessing it was a limited time flavor before. I scroll down and I have to admit, I like what I see here. They're jumping right into the formulation, the research behind it. It says more salt, not less, and talks about how more and more the research is showing optimal health outcomes is really what we're looking for and how much salt we need for optimal health, not just not being sick, right? But truly living well and living long. And that research shows that we need more salt than what the government recommends. So they're operating based on the research versus the government guidelines, which I'm in favor of. Then they highlight their flavors. And in response to the question, what's inside, they have a video. And then it says, no sugar, no gluten, no dodgy ingredients, vegan friendly, paleo keto friendly. So I'm on board with all of this. The paleo keto friendly thing, signaling to me that they're using a low glycemic impact natural sweetener. So we'll see when we get to the ingredients, but that's my guess on that one. Then they talk a bit about the founder's story, and they start with the line, health is a process. And honestly, I'm going to amen, right? Thank you. Yes. I'm with you on this one. I have to clarify or co-founder, not just founder, co-founder. So his name is Rob Wolf. And I'm quoting from them here. It says, his health journey sparked a salty rebellion. So I'm into it, intrigued to learn more. So the photo that they have on there with this part of it makes it look like he did martial arts or something. Not sure if it was karate or what, but anyway, he says he was a low-carb, whole food diet guy, but something was holding him back. He and his coaches figured out that he needed more salt. And I'm curious to hear more, right? What helped them connect the dots, but they don't tell us. So, onward. It says that he tried a bunch of different products. Nothing seemed to do the trick. A lot of them were high in sugar. They didn't actually give him significant amounts of electrolytes. So they weren't doing what he needed. He started making his own. He found the best formula when he felt everything improved. So he noticed from his fitness improvement to his sleep and cognitive function. So I'm like, yes, 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 all the things. This is what we know improves with proper minerals, right? Electrolytes are minerals. And then the rest of their homepage, they focus on educating. Anyone who scrolls down that far, they're educating on hydration, which again, I think it's awesome. I love that at the top of their site, they have easy to find information about the scientific research behind the products and formulations, information on the formulations themselves, among other things. With their formulation, on the surface level, I like it. It says 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, 60 milligrams of magnesium. Now, of course, if you're a longtime listener, I'm going to keep digging because I'm curious about the sources of each of these because that's what really makes the difference and what they're using also for the flavors and the sweeteners. It does say on the front of the package, no sugar, 1 gram of carbs. So there must be some kind of sweetener in there. So let's go take a look. Again, I'm a fan of how easy they make it to find the info. So I'm going to say thank you, Element, on that one. All right, looking at one formulation. Oh, it says one formulation, many flavors. So again, this is going to make our job a little easier today. Jenn has said that she likes the citrus. So that's what I'm looking at first. On the nutrition facts, and it is all exactly as we would expect. So serving size, 1 stick pack, 5 calories, 0 grams of fat, 1,000 milligrams of sodium, as they told us, less than 1 gram of total carbs, and then 0 grams of fiber, 0 grams of sugar, 0 grams of added sugar. So we'll have to see from the ingredients, what's creating that carb, then 0 grams of protein. And the micronutrients we see again, as expected, 200 milligrams of potassium, 60 milligrams of magnesium. Now, to find the details, I want the sources. So looking at the ingredients, it says salt, sodium chloride, citric acid, magnesium malate, potassium chloride, natural lemon and lime flavors, and stevia leaf extract. So for the most part, I'm a yes here. I like the dosing of each ingredient, the 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 60 milligrams of magnesium, 200 milligrams of potassium. As for the sources, starting with magnesium, it's magnesium malate, which I like. The one I use has dimagnesium malate, so it gives you 2 molecules of magnesium. So this one isn't bad, but we could still level up. On the potassium, it's potassium chloride, which is fine. So the one that I use is dark Himalayan pink salt, which gives you more mineral content than typical sodium chloride. I wish they gave us more information here. I'm guessing they're not using that because I feel like if they were, they would say it. So I don't think we necessarily have to throw the baby out with the bathwater on this, but I would say there are options that can even upgrade us further from what LMNT is offering. Stevia leaf extract is their sweetener. So between that and their flavorings, that's where you're getting that, 1 gram or less of carbs and keeping it keto paleo friendly. And I think the caveat on the flavors, and I mentioned this too when we talked about another electrolyte drink, the mechanism of absorption, the mechanism of uptake of those minerals matters. So a lemon lime flavor itself can induce that uptake without a blood sugar response, without a glycemic response. Other flavors don't. And so some of those formulas may be relying on an insulin response for the absorption. We don't know if that's the case here. I think for me, that would make the case to stick with the citrus or the unflavored one versus using some of the other flavors that they offer. I think overall, I'm generally a fan. I'm personally sensitive to salt. So again, the one that I use with the dark pink Himalayan sea salt also has black pepper in it, which helps with some of that, not just the flavor, but also a bit of the absorption. If I didn't have mine handy, I suppose I would look for LMNT, if I was running around because it's a little more widely available than other ones. I will also just say kudos to them for their transparency. I respect it tremendously. In their FAQ, they basically tell you how to replicate their entire product on your own. And I respect that. Sarah Banta, a featured guest from this week. Supplements are 1,000% your world. Funny that we're doing this today with you here. What are your thoughts? Anything you want to add?
Well, I know Rob. He was on my podcast, and
we have a few mutual friends. It's so funny. This world is just so small.
It is.
Yeah.
So I, first of all, love the fact that they're promoting salt. Salt has gotten a bad name. We need salt. You're put on a saline drip when you're in the hospital. There's a reason. Our bodies, it's the foundation of salt. If I was on a deserted island, you'd find me with iodine and salt. You've got to have them, both of them, for your adrenals, your thyroid, your whole system. I agree with you on everything that you brought up as far as the company, the pros and the cons. It was in the news a while back because they had a hidden sweetener in there. I think it was maltitol, if I'm correct. And that doesn't give you a sweet taste in your mouth, but it triggers your gut to crave more. So I'm not a fan of maltitol. I'm pretty sure that was the other sweetener. And as far as your point on the salt, where the salt is coming from, it's like saying, well, I don't know if that apple's organic or not. You know if it's organic because it will put all that big word organic all over it because you're paying up for it. So if it doesn't say, then it might not be the
Exactly.
best source. But is it one of the better electrolytes? Yes. So I'm with you on all of that.
Awesome. I love it. Well, Jenn S., everybody, that's the scoop on Element. And as always, I'm your host, Jenn Trepeck. Connect with me on Instagram or all social media. I'm at Jenn Trepeck, JENNTREPECK. Website is asaladwithasideofries.com. Pick your platform, send a message. Hearing from you is absolutely the highlight of my day every time. Sarah Banta, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. This was so much fun.
Oh, awesome. It was fun. And friends, if you are not already, join the Happy Healthy Hub. You'll go to asaladwithasideofries.com/membership. This shows your support for this podcast, this community, and above all, it supports your health. On top of this week's episode in full video with behind-the-scenes content, your 24/7 Ask Me Anything, you'll get this week's recipe for the roasted cauliflower with tahini sauce. Well, friends, that's it for today's episode of Salad with a Side of Fries. Congratulations for making yourself and your health a priority. Thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to click subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform. Share us with a friend, and we'll be back next week. Always remember, you deserve it, and you are worth it. Happy healthy.